fear is not real. It is a creation of the mind, an illusion that holds you back from who you are meant to be. Most men are trapped by fear, not because they are weak, but because they have never learned to face it. I did not become fearless by avoiding fear. I became fearless by understanding it, confronting it, and moving through it. Fear will always whisper, "You can't," but you must answer, "Watch me." If you want to break through your limits, you must kill fear at the root by mastering your mind. Let me show you how. 1. Understand that fear lives in the mind. Fear does not live in the world. It lives in your mind. It is not the danger that holds you back. It is the thought of danger. Your body may be strong, your heart may be ready, but your mind creates pictures that stop you before you even begin. The first step to becoming fearless is to see fear for what it really is, an illusion created by your own thinking. Most people run from fear without realizing that it only exists in their imagination. They feel nervous, they worry, they doubt, but nothing has actually happened. It is their mind creating problems before any challenge begins. I learned early in my life that fear disappears when you take action. When you move, when you face it, it has no place to hide. That's how I broke free, by confronting the fear in my mind, not the world around me. You must understand that fear is a choice. You can feed it by thinking about everything that could go wrong, or you can cut it off by focusing on what you will do. What you focus on becomes your reality. If you focus on fear, it grows. If you focus on purpose, fear fades. A warrior does not give fear a home. He replaces it with clarity, with intention, with action. Train your mind to see fear clearly, but do not follow it. Do not let it make decisions for you. You are not your fear. You are the one who observes it. When you learn this, fear loses its power. And once you understand that fear is only in your mind, you will see how easily it can be destroyed. 2. Expose yourself to what you fear. The only way to defeat fear is to face it. You cannot run from it, hide from it, or pretend it doesn't exist. The longer you avoid what you fear, the stronger it becomes. But when you expose yourself to it, when you stand in front of it again and again, it begins to lose its power. A warrior becomes fearless by stepping into the fire, not away from it. I did not become strong by avoiding challenges. I became strong by walking toward them. If something scared me, I trained with it until I no longer feared it. Whether it was the fear of pain, failure, or being judged, I exposed myself to it again and again until it became normal. What once made me nervous, later made me sharp. That is how fear turns into strength, through repetition and exposure. When you face what you fear, you learn something powerful. It's not as big as your mind made it. Fear only has strength when it is left in the dark. The moment you bring it into the light, you realize it can be defeated. Each time you face it, you build confidence. And with enough exposure, fear transforms from a threat into a teacher. So do not avoid what makes you uncomfortable. Train with it. Walk into it. Let it test you. And every time you return to face that fear, you become stronger, sharper, more alive. This is how you build the mind of a warrior, by standing in front of fear until it no longer stands in front of you. Third act, despite the fear. Fear will always be there. It is a part of the mind, a part of being human. But the difference between a warrior and the average man is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to be controlled by it. You do not need to be fearless to act. You need to be courageous enough to move forward while fear is still present. Many people wait for fear to disappear before they take the first step, but fear does not leave on its own. It waits to see what you will do. If you freeze, it grows stronger. If you move, it starts to shrink. Every time you act in the face of fear, you teach your mind that you are in control. You tell fear, you are not the master here, I am. I have stepped into arenas where I was uncertain, where my heart pounded and doubt crept in. But I did not let fear decide for me. I took action. I threw the first punch. I spoke the truth. I moved forward. And with every action, the fear faded. Action is the weapon that defeats fear. Not thinking, not hoping, doing. So the next time fear rises, don't wait for it to disappear. Don't let it paralyze your mind. Take the first step, even if it's small. That step will lead to another. And with each one, you will build strength, confidence, and freedom. Acting despite fear. That is the path of the warrior. 4. Control your breathing, control your state. When fear enters the body, the breath is the first to change. It becomes fast, shallow, uncontrolled. Your heart races, your thoughts scatter, and your power weakens. But a warrior knows, if you control your breath, you control your state. Calm breath brings calm action. Powerful breath brings powerful energy. The body obeys the rhythm of the breath. In the middle of chaos, you must return to the breath. When emotions rise, when fear creeps in, when pressure builds, breathe. Deep, slow, focused. Let the breath anchor you to the moment. Let it silence the noise. Through breath, the mind becomes still. Through stillness, strength returns. I practice breathing not only in training but in life. Whether I was preparing for a fight, facing challenge, or in deep thought, I breathed with purpose. Your breath is the most natural tool you have to bring control back to your body and clarity back to your mind. You do not need to shout to be powerful. Sometimes power is found in silence, in calm, in steady breath. Many men panic because they let the outside world change their inside state. But when you own your breath, you own your response. A warrior does not react wildly. He responds with control, and it begins with the breath. This is not weakness. This is mastery. To remain calm when others collapse is a sign of true strength. In a fight, whether with fists or with life, the one who controls his breathing lasts longer, thinks clearer, and strikes smarter. Breathing trains you to be present, and presence is the root of all power. The distracted man is defeated. The focused man wins. And focus begins with how you breathe. So train it. In moments of peace and moments of pressure, pay attention to your breath. Use it to center yourself, to reset, to stay ready. Control your breathing, and you control your state. Control your state, and there is nothing you cannot face. 5. Train until action becomes automatic. You do not rise to the occasion. You fall to the level of your training. In moments of pressure, you will not have time to think. You will only do what you have trained yourself to do. That is why training must be constant, intentional, and disciplined. If you want to become fearless, your response must be instinct, not hesitation. When danger comes or fear appears, there is no room for doubt. You must move. You must act with precision and speed. This only happens when you have trained your body and mind over and over until the reaction becomes natural. A warrior is not born ready. He becomes ready through repetition. He sharpens himself until every movement, every decision is automatic. I did not train for comfort. I trained for chaos. I trained for the unexpected. Because in life, things will not always go as planned. And when they don't, you fall back on your habits. If your habits are weak, you will fail. But if your habits are strong, built through years of focused training, you will stand your ground and rise through the challenge. Fear often catches people. Because they are unprepared. They have not trained enough to move without thinking. They freeze. They doubt. But if you have practiced the right mindset, if you have trained your body to act with purpose, then fear has no grip. You move because your training takes over. That is why repetition matters more than motivation. The goal of a warrior is not just to learn, it is to internalize, to train until he no longer needs to think about what to do. He simply does it. He becomes the movement, the mindset, the reaction. This is the path to mastery, when your actions are so deeply embedded in you that they require no effort, only execution. Train your thoughts the same way. Don't just study discipline, practice it every day. Don't just talk about courage, live it in your smallest decisions. Every moment of training is a message to your future self. I am preparing, I am ready. I will not be shaken when the time comes. People often ask, how do I stay consistent? The answer is simple. You train until it's who you are. You make it a part of your identity. When the habit is strong, it becomes harder to stop than to continue. This is when you become dangerous, not because you think more, but because you act without fear, without delay, without doubt. So train when no one is watching. Train when you don't feel like it. Train until the action is no longer something you force, it's something you flow with. That is the level of control you must reach. That is how fear is defeated, not with words, but with automatic action fueled by relentless preparation. 6. Use fear as fuel, not a barrier. Fear is not always your enemy. In fact, it can be your greatest ally, if you understand it. The problem is, most people see fear as a wall, something to avoid. They back away the moment it appears. But fear is not there to stop you. It is there to wake you up, to sharpen you, to challenge you. The warrior does not run from fear, he uses it to ignite his fire. I have felt fear before a fight, before stepping into the unknown, before pushing my body and mind beyond their limits. But instead of allowing fear to hold me down, I turned it into focus. I turned it into energy. You must learn to transform fear, not ignore it. That's how you grow. You take that anxious energy and aim it like a weapon. When fear rises, your body becomes alert, your senses sharpen, your awareness increases. This is your mind preparing you for battle. Use it, channel it, direct it toward action. Let it remind you of the importance of the moment. The mistake is letting fear paralyze you. But if you channel it correctly, it becomes fuel for greatness. Fear can teach you. It shows you where you are weak. It reveals where your doubts still live. That's why you should not hide from it. Face it. When fear speaks, listen. Not to obey, but to learn. Ask yourself, what is this fear telling me? Where do I need to grow? What must I train? When you ask these questions, fear becomes your coach, not your enemy. I did not wait for fear to leave. I acted with it beside me. And I discovered something powerful. When you move through fear, it shrinks. When you take action, the illusion fades. The fear you thought was huge becomes small. The more you walk into fear, the less control it has. Eventually, it becomes familiar, and the familiar loses its power. You must build a new relationship with fear. Don't see it as a reason to stop. See it as a signal to begin. When you feel fear, that is a sign you are stepping outside of comfort. That's where strength is built. Comfort builds nothing. But fear builds warriors when faced correctly. Greatness lives just beyond fear. Many men never reach it because they turn back too soon. They feel the fear and think something is wrong. But nothing is wrong. It means you are alive. It means you are being stretched. It means you are doing something meaningful. When that fear appears, smile. Say to yourself, I must be on the right path. The most dangerous man is not the one who feels no fear. It is the one who has felt fear, stared it in the face, and kept moving forward. That is the man who cannot be broken. He does not wait for perfect confidence. He acts, and through action, confidence is built. Through courage, fear is transformed. So let your fear speak, but don't let it command you. Use it as a signal to rise, to prepare, to push. When your mind says you can't, use that voice as fuel to prove it wrong. When fear says, turn back, let it light the fire in you to keep going. Let fear push you, not block you. In the end, fear is a choice. You can let it be the reason you stopped, or the reason you became something greater. Use fear as fuel. Burn with it, move with it, and let it remind you that you are alive, that you are ready, and that you were built to rise above anything standing in your way. 7. Master your thoughts to master fear. Fear begins in the mind. Before you feel it in your body, it starts as a thought. One idea, one doubt, one what if. And suddenly, your heart races, your hands shake, your mind runs in every direction. This is how fear works. It takes a single thought and multiplies it. But remember, if fear is born in thought, it can also be destroyed there. Control your thoughts, and you control your fear. Most men allow their thoughts to run wild. They give attention to every fear, every worry, every worst-case scenario. But a warrior is different. A warrior observes his thoughts without obeying them. He asks, is this thought helping me or hurting me? And if it is hurting, he lets it go. You are not your thoughts. You are the master of them. I trained my body for combat, but I trained my mind for clarity. When fear appeared, I did not try to silence it with noise. I became still. I listened. And then I answered, not with panic, but with purpose. You must train your mind to stay calm when the pressure rises. Stillness is not weakness. It is power under control. Negative thoughts will always try to enter your mind. That's their nature. They will say, you're not good enough. You're going to fail. You should stop. These voices are not truth. They are habits. You must break those habits by replacing them with stronger ones. When doubt speaks, respond with certainty. When fear whispers, answer with action. Fear feeds on attention. The more you focus on fear, the stronger it gets. But when you shift your focus to what you can do, to the step you can take, fear begins to lose its grip. Train your thoughts to live in the moment, not in the past, not in imagined futures. Fear grows in imagination, but it fades in presence. You must become ruthless with the thoughts you allow to stay. Just like a warrior sharpens his sword, you must sharpen your thinking. Cut away what weakens you. Hold on only to what strengthens you. If a thought makes you feel powerless, it has no place in your mind. If a thought inspires strength, focus, or action, feed it, grow it. The world will test you, but your greatest battle will always be with your own mind. If you win there, no obstacle can break you. But if your thoughts control you, even small challenges will feel like mountains. Train daily, not just in body, but in thinking. Because fear cannot live in a mind that is clear, focused, and determined. Mental mastery does not mean you never feel fear. It means fear never controls your behavior. You might feel nervous, uncertain, even afraid, but you still move forward. That is true power, to feel fear and choose strength anyway, to walk into the fire with steady hands and clear vision. This is the mind of a warrior. Your thoughts create your reality. If you constantly think, I can't, then you won't. If you think, I am ready, then you become ready. The mind responds to what you feed it. If you feed it fear, it grows weak. If you feed it courage, it grows bold. Master your thoughts, and you will reshape your life. Be aware of what you repeat to yourself. Your inner dialogue becomes your outer world. Speak strength, even when you feel none. Speak purpose, even when you feel lost. The mind listens, it learns, and it builds patterns. The more you speak like a warrior, the more you become one. Don't just control fear. Retrain your mind to see fear as a signal, not a stop sign. When fear appears, let your thoughts say, "This is my moment to grow. This is my moment to rise." That mindset will make you unstoppable. That mindset will prepare you for anything. So choose your thoughts like a fighter chooses his moves. Carefully, deliberately, with precision. Do not let fear live rent-free in your mind. Master your thinking, and fear will no longer master you. In the end, the strongest man is not the one without fear, but the one who commands it with his mind. Fear will always try to return. It will wait in the shadows, looking for a moment of weakness. But now you know the truth. It is not real power. It is a test. And the warrior does not run from tests. He overcomes them. You do not need to be fearless to begin. You need to begin in spite of fear. That is where strength is born. That is how you become unshakable, not by removing fear, but by rising above it. Each time you act with courage, you silence fear's voice. Each time you step forward, you become stronger. This is the path of the warrior. This is the way of the mind. So face the fear, break the illusion, and move forward with fire in your heart. Because the man who masters his fear masters his life.